remember last week that video we posted about the RV market. Well, it's got a lot of views, and so I've been trying to think of ideas for other videos. And I just got an email and followed up with a phone call from Heather, and you remember Heather Wethead, asking me if I'm sure that I want to sell a unit back to the same dealer that I bought a unit from last week. Remember in that video, I said I bought a Thor. I bought a coach that I normally don't buy. Starts with a Thor, but it's a good price point coach. It's a little short. It's an older Tuscany. We'll be the judge when it shows up here. If it inspected really well. I bought a Thor. It's here. It came in. I don't know what I was thinking, folks. Should have never bought it. But I did, and now I'm going to pay for it. So I want you to stick around to the end of this video where I show you what I paid for it, and I'm also going to show you how much I sold it back to that same dealer for. You might think I'm crazy. That's okay. And we're going to go through this. This video is going to be about that. I'm going to show you what it's like to make a mistake. Towards the end of this video, we're going to show you the numbers, how they all panned out, how much it cost me to get it here, the fees, and what I sold it back for. Fun times, but sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. Today we're a loser. And foremost, let's go out here and show you the coach and show you what I'm talking about. It's honestly not a terrible, horrible, rotten, no good machine. It's just not. I should have known better. I mean, honestly, I should know. You'd think I bought enough motorhomes, and this one fooled me, honestly. I'm going to turn the camera on. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. This one really fooled me. It threw me for a loop. But once it got here, I actually took it home to started to do video and playing with it. It's not for me. So I'm going to turn the camera around. The unit's in behind me here. I'm going to turn the camera around. I'm going to show you why I bought it. And, I'm sure there's some good about it, but it's just not for me. But I'm going to explain to you why I decided not to continue on with this retail sale and why I decided to let it go and sell it back to the gentleman I bought it from. And for me, selling it back to the gentleman I bought it from was the easiest thing, because it's at some point it doesn't really become about the money. Could I have sold this maybe as is to somebody and they went out and maybe had fun with it? I guess it's possible, but it's not something I believe in. I should have never bought it. This is a learning lesson. Although I'm going to lose large money on this, this is going to teach me a valuable lesson and remind me why I don't fool with these. You remember the Seinfeld episode, Even Steven? I love Seinfeld. We watch Seinfeld almost every night. But there's an episode that always sticks with me. My wife calls me Even Steven because it seems no matter what I do, it always works out for us.
You know who you are? Even Steven.
So I don't know how I'm going to get even with this Thor Tuscany, but I'm going to figure out a way to get even Steven on this one. Hopefully, I'm going to cross my fingers and hope for the best. What you have in front of you is a coach that looks amazing. Great paint scheme, 2015. There's a lot of Damon that really, I guess part of the reason why I bought it was because, first and foremost, is a 34 ST floor plan. The floor plan itself is not bad. It's not horrible. Coach had low miles. I decided to get an inspection on it, and nothing against the inspector. He didn't do anything wrong. The coach inspected out fine. There's really nothing. There's no real major problems with it, but there's just lots of little stuff, obviously. And combine that with the fact that it's a Thor. But look at the paint scheme on it. A great paint scheme. A good-looking coach. A little 35, sub 35 foot. It's got the 360 horsepower Cummins engine, the Allison 3000 transmission. Generally speaking, it's not a horrible machine. Now, there's a couple things I'm going to go through the coach. I'm going to tell you what made me not want to sell it. Most way up top, that termination strip up here. I don't know, can you see that hanging down? I don't know if you can see it or not, but there's a termination strip. The piece of the strip has fallen off. Not a big deal. I mean, we could walk around the coach and pick on, like, this marker light's broke. We can say that it needs a tiny little bit of paint work, some rock chips and stuff like that. A little bit of body damage right there, as you can see. I mean, just a little nick in the paint. Not even, none of that really was a determining factor to want to sell this and lose the kind of money that I'm going to lose on this. But I'm going to take you inside. I'm going to show you a couple things that, I mean, again, I should have known this. I'm my own worst enemy on this deal. For sure, it is nobody's fault but my own. I should have never clicked the button. Even, in fact, the gentleman, and he's a fan of the YouTube channel. The gentleman that I bought it from, he couldn't believe that I bought this thing. Oh God! And I don't know what's in here. It stinks. That's like the number one thing. It stinks in here. It's not water damage. I don't honestly know what it is. It almost smells like a kind of like a dead mouse. But that can be cleaned. I mean, it's not something I would normally fool with. But I mean, if I found a dead mouse or something somewhere, absolutely, I would take care of that. But I'm going to turn the camera around and show you another thing that really just drives me nuts. I could have done my homework from the beginning and really figured this out ahead of time. But this slide right here is a full wall slide. It's Schwintek. This slide right here is not a full wall slide, but it's also a Schwintek. Every slide in this coach is a Schwintek slide. Now, I deal with Schwintek slides all the time. I don't find them to be horrible or bad, but on a full wall slide and then combined with look at this here, kind of rusty nail heads, and this slide has got some major, I mean, it goes in and out fine, but it's got some major problems with it. So the slide, the smell, I don't know what, it's not terrible, but as soon as you walk in, you kind of smell it. Combine that with behind me here, some foggy windows. Those weren't on the inspection. Maybe it happened when it hit the moisture, rain, or something. I don't know. It's got a couple foggy windows. Other than that, the furniture is in good shape in here. The slides all work, but this full wall slide behind me, it's got some problems. It's getting ready to have some problems. It's working right now, but it's getting ready to have some problems. So there we are. That's kind of the reasons why we didn't even get on the roof to do the inspection, because and honestly didn't pass my first glimpse. I just don't feel. You ever get that feeling like something ain't right? This in some of the videos, folks. I'm no different than anybody else. If I'm gonna buy a coach, I'm gonna walk in it, and if I don't get a good feeling, I'm gonna investigate that, and I'm gonna really think about what it is. So, although this coach is a 2015, it's the right size, it's the right colors. The coach itself is not in terrible bad condition. It's got really good miles on it. The driver said it ran great, performed very well. No major issues other than what I've mentioned. It's enough for me to say no, we're not doing it. So we're gonna lose money on this one. Next part of the video, I got to move this thing and get it lined up. I've already sold it back to the gentleman that I bought it from. Took a nice fat loss. I don't exactly know how much that is because I don't remember how much our transport costs and fuel and all that kind of stuff. But I'm going to get this thing moved around. We're going to move around on a lot and get it lined up, because I sold him a couple other pieces too that needed to go, that were trade-ins and whatnot. We got some trade-ins back here that we need to get rid of. Please, folks, if you don't mind, if you enjoyed what this video was about and you enjoyed the video in itself, please smash the thumbs up button, give us a like, hit the subscribe button, and hit the bell notification. Another thing you can do to help us out, that helps us out tremendously, is you can share this video. Share this with anybody that you're interested in, that it might be interested in buying a motorhome or looking at motorhomes or what to look for. So I'm definitely going to learn from this. I'm going to make more money than what I lost here based on the learning factor.
Fine. A 20?
Never too big to admit when I made a mistake. I definitely made a huge mistake in this one. I'm going to learn a lesson from it, and I'm going to profit from that lesson. I'm going to learn from my mistake. 25,890 miles on this coach. There's not a tremendous amount of negative to say about it. Again, it's a great floor plan. They did excellent finishes in here. Ceramic tile floors, Corian countertops. Looks like somebody has reupholstered all the leather in here at some point. You got a midship bath in here that's really, really huge, nice, king size bed. I mean, there's some positive to this coach. It's just not for us, not right now. Um, I should know better, and I did it anyway. Maybe it was greed. I don't know. Leave a comment down below why you thought I bought this. Um, maybe it had something to do with greed. I don't know. Maybe I just was feeling good that day. Maybe I was a little bit manic that day, but nonetheless, we're going to make a good decision to get rid of this thing right now and before anything else bad happens. And last thing we want to do is sell this to somebody and them have problems with it. I mean, overall, there's probably some positive things that I could say about this Thor. I mean, I can't disparage the company. I mean, here's the thing about a Thor, okay? This is my take, my 2 cents on it. You take from this whatever you want to take from it. Thor is not necessarily a terrible, horrible, no good company. Could they do some things better? Absolutely. There's not a company in this country that is perfect. So with that being said, you got to understand something about Thor. They build a product that meets a price point for a customer that wants to buy it. As individuals in this country, we have a decision to make when buying a motorhome or a travel trailer. In my case, I sell motorhomes, so I revert back to using verbiage as motorhome or coach or Class A, diesel pusher, those types of things. So you got to understand that Thor doesn't start out and intend to be a company that does bad business. They're making a product that fits in a budget for their customer. They're making a product that the market wants to buy. Every price point can only be manufactured to a certain standard. I mean, can they do things better? Absolutely. There's always room for improvement. I'm not sticking up for Thor. I don't own any Thor stock, and I choose not to fool with that product, especially now. But there are people out there that's what they can afford to buy is a Thor product, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with the Thor in general. My suggestion to you, if you're buying a used motorhome, make sure you get an inspection. If you don't feel good about it, get the inspection done. That's important. No matter if you're buying from a dealer or an individual, if you're not sure about the product, get it inspected. If you have an unlimited budget, are you going to buy a Thor? Well, probably not. You're probably going to buy a Prevost. I mean, if you have an unlimited budget, that's what you do. I mean, that's just part of life. If you're on a budget and you like a unit that Thor makes and the floor plan fits your needs and you like it and you're ready to put forward your hard-earned money, then that's what you're going to do. I think a lot of it lies on the dealers. The dealers could do a better job for the profit that they make on these units. The dealers could do a better job of making sure that the buyer understands what they're buying and knows how to use it and all that kind of stuff. So that's why we do that's why we do things the way that we do here at Soul Motor Coach. We want to make sure that you understand whatever product we're selling you, whether it be a Tiffin, a Newmar, or an Integra, or whatever it is, an older Prevost, old beautiful older Monaco like this. We want to make sure that we understand how to use it and how to teach you how to use it. We're going to make sure we service it, prep it, detail it to the best of our ability. When we deliver it to you, that it's as good as it possibly can be. And I think that's the thing that sets us apart from a lot of other dealers is that we take the time, energy, and money to put into making sure that our customer has a great experience. And I think that's the driving force of Sewell Motor Coach. I've got just behind the monitor, just behind the camera here, I've got the screen pulled up. I've got my buyer's order from Mannheim Auctions where I bought it, showing you and exactly, I'm going to show you exactly how much I paid for it. Then we're going to go in here and find Heather and ask her how much, to get her to say how much I sold it for back to the same dealer we bought it from. This is probably another reason why I was excited, because it's a low mileage, kind of late model diesel pusher for, that I could have priced, in the low 100s. So I paid $87,500, paid a $50 simulcast fee and a $1,313 buyer fee. So I'm all in here. I had to write a check for $88,863. That's actually, I have more than that in it because it cost me typically about $1.25 a mile to get the coach here plus fuel. And I always tell my driver to it's about 100 gallons of fuel to bring one of those up the highway. And then I always have him fill it up when it gets here. That way it's got, or get as close as he can, keep it as close as he can to full coming here. So we probably put 140-ish gallons of fuel in it at what, $3? Let's just say $3 a gallon. So there's another $500, 450, whatever, $450. So we've got, let's say, another 1,500 in transport right there. So we're 90 grand, over $90,000 invested in this. Now let's go find Heather and figure out how much I'm getting back for that just over $90,000 investment.
Let's see if you get the $20 back.
You know, you could have thrown a pencil out the window and seen if that kind of fly.
You remember the show Home Improvement and Mr. Wilson? Well, this is Mr. Wilson's daughter. This is Heather Wilson.
Tim, the first step for greatness is humbling yourself.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly how much I sold this Thor Tuscany for. How much does he write me a check back for it?
75 grand.
You see, Tim, a truly wise man always has more questions than answers.
Oh, that one. I'm not going to be able to sit down tonight.
You mean Vaseline?
Heather.
I'm sorry.
You Vaseline. Good Lord. Yeah, that's part of...
You got to erase that part.
No, we'll leave that in
No,
there.
no, you got to.
People love that stuff.
No.
She got a phone call, so you heard it. 75,000. So that's a over $15,000 loss. That's not very good business practice there. But hey, we're gonna do what we're gonna do. We're gonna move on from that loss, move on to bigger and better things. And sometimes I feel good about it. As crazy as that sounds, how can you possibly feel good about? How can you possibly feel good about a $15,000 loss? Well, it's like a relief off of my weight lifted off my shoulders, where I don't have to fool with that Thor anymore. Again, I thrown it at the wall to see if it would stick. Rat Fink is whoa. It didn't stick, so that's not what we're gonna do. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. I certainly enjoy doing these videos. Leave us a comment down below if you like the little funny things we're trying to add in here, what we can do to improve that. Hope you have a wonderful and blessed day, and I hope to talk with you soon.